You are truly in for a treat today. This is the best paid traffic formula you need to get to a seven-figure income, just like the Atlas Academy coach Chris Gregot has done it more than once. Take notes and watch, and more inside the Atlas Academy. Let's go.
What's up, everyone? Chris Record here, and welcome to day one of the Paid Traffic Academy. We've got people from all over the world joining us right now, all different types of time zones. It is awesome to be able to see that level of commitment. I appreciate each and every single one of you. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kick things off by sharing my screen, and I'm gonna walk through some slides to be able to give you a beginner's perspective of the fundamentals of paid advertising, as well as our social traffic formula we're gonna be using to run paid ads through. It's gonna be an exciting day, and listen, I encourage you all, take lots of notes. Take notes. It is so important because you learn more when you actually write down, take notes, and then when this is done, organize your notes. Go through and say, hey, what can I do to be able to understand some of these topics better? And as always, inside of our Atlas Facebook group, we have a post dedicated to this entire week of paid traffic. So that's where you can give some feedback. If you really enjoy the sessions, that's where you can ask questions. There's so much that you can do inside of that post in the Facebook group. That's also a chance for me to interact. And if you have ideas for what you want us to expand more upon, that's where you would share those ideas. So with that being said, let's kick things off and let's go full screen because why not? So here we are, Paid Traffic Academy. So I'm gonna walk through some slides right now that are gonna cover some fundamentals, some basics. First, we're gonna cover part one, which is the traffic formula. This is a formula that I want you all to pay attention to. Number two, traffic terms. It's important that you understand the terminology when it comes to paid advertising and paid marketing. And then part three, traffic guidelines, meaning that if you're going to run paid advertising, paid traffic, you need to run it to pages that are compliant. So let's kick things off with the traffic formula. Okay, so this right here is the current funnel that we are operating inside of our own marketing, which is we market for a company called the Internet Income System, and we market for Atlas Academy, right? So we run our own paid ads, we do our own marketing. This funnel is an example of our marketing. Now, if you're here watching this and you're in a different industry, let's say you're a real estate agent, you're an insurance agent, you're a loan officer, maybe you're a small business owner, maybe you're a network marketer. Well, what I want you to do is I want you to learn and reverse engineer this model to be able to use in your own industry. This traffic formula works for any industry, okay? So up on the top left corner, we have paid ads, right? So this ultimately is what we're gonna be teaching over the next week, but your paid ads have to go somewhere, right? The traffic has to go somewhere. So here is the recommended, you could do it a million different ways, but here's the recommended way that I suggest doing it. I suggest having your ads go to an email opt-in page. If you're running ads, one of the most important things you can do is you can build an email list, okay? Because you don't know if they're gonna buy or not. If you just run ads directly to an offer, some will buy, some won't, but you won't be able to really market to them again. Instead, if you run ads to an email opt-in, then you're gonna have them on your email list and you can follow up with them sort of for life, really. Now, this email opt-in page should have what's called a lead magnet. It should simply be something that you give away for free in exchange for a name, email address, phone number, whatever information you would like to collect. So if you want a lead for your business, you gotta think, what information do I wanna collect from them? The more information you collect, the bigger of a free gift you should give. So an example of a free gift might be a PDF. Maybe like, for example, what I did was I made a list of 101 AI tools, artificial intelligence tools, that entrepreneurs should use. I give that away as a free gift in exchange for their name and their email. It works out great. People give me the email and then I simply email them the PDF. Okay, after the email opt-in, you'll notice it goes two different arrows. So one arrow goes to the right, which basically takes them through this big funnel over here. So this one right here goes to bridge pages. Bridge pages are essentially a page that you put together or somebody puts together that is designed for the target audience, right? So whatever audience I'm marketing to, let's say that I'm marketing to an audience of women, then I might want to use a feminine aesthetic on the page, right? Instead of maybe like a masculine aesthetic. If I'm marketing to men, I might want to use a masculine aesthetic. Another example is, let's say that I'm marketing to golfers. I want to try the golf industry and I want to see if some good leads are there. Well, then I might use a background image of somebody on a golf course golfing. It's just that simple. The bridge page is basically you want to use some elements from your target audience. So whoever it is you're going to be advertising to, you want to build a page that relates to them. The colors, the language, the images, maybe even the video, right? Something that relates to them. That bridge page then takes them to what's called a VSL, a video sales letter. Now, you don't have to use a VSL. You could just have it be a page with no video. You could just have it be an article that explains about your company. It could be all text. It could just be a lot of pictures. You know, like if you go to a software company that's running ads, maybe they don't have a video, but maybe they have like a lot of information about their products there, right? But that's essentially what the VSL page is, otherwise known as a sales page. The sales page is where you are essentially trying to get them to take action. Then over here, what I do is I like to have them join something for free. So at this point, your lead, your email lead, turns into an actual member. They're actually joining something. They're actually giving you information. Now, if you don't have a membership site or you don't have the ability to be able to have people join something, then you would skip this step and you would go straight to a purchase page. So this sales page would take them to a checkout page. And on the checkout page, they would buy your product or whatever action you want them to do. If you're a real estate agent, they're probably not going to buy a house on that page. So that page might be something like maybe if you want to sell something, maybe for $20, you're selling a PDF that you made that's like the insider's guide to being able to buy homes at a discount in the Las Vegas, Nevada area or whatever it might be. Or maybe it's just a long form lead. Maybe you're actually getting them, a call to action might be find out how much your home is worth, right? Figure out kind of how much you might be able to sell your home for in this market, you know, be able to get an estimate for us and stuff like that. So whatever it is, you got to have a call to action. Obviously, if you're running paid ads, you want to make money back. This is your chance to do it. So in recap, I'm going to run an ad. I'm going to collect the email address. Then I'm going to create a page that tailors to the audience I'm advertising to. Then it's going to go to a traditional sales page. They're going to join and then they're going to buy something. That is the traditional singular level funnel. But there's a lot more that's going on here. For example, after they buy the $20 product that we sell them, then I want to work on getting them to buy the $250 product and the $1,000 product. These are additional items that we have that we can sell to be able to make money off of. So you'll notice it starts to go down once they become a customer. But I don't want them to skip to a $1,000 product. I want them to start and go through things in a sequential order. That is going to be how I'm going to maximize the effectiveness of my ads. Now, I'm going to show you now the bottom part of this is the depth that comes inside of a paid traffic formula. So over here on the left, email opt-in. Well, just because I have their email doesn't mean anything. So what if I have their email stored on some list somewhere? If I'm not doing something with it, then it's not going to be effective. So I like to use what's called an autoresponder. The way that an autoresponder works is that I simply write up, let's say like 30 emails, and then I send those emails out once per day. I send them out maybe once every other day, right? Once per day, once every 2 days. And they're just going to be value-based. And what they're essentially going to be is like 30 days of value. And then I'm probably going to experiment with some other bridge pages. Maybe this first funnel didn't work. So maybe I'm going to just try something else, try some unique ideas, try to get their interest, try to see if there's other angles I can hit them with. And then these bridge pages are going to go right back to the sales page. So even the people that don't buy right off the bat, they'll eventually go into an autoresponder and they'll buy later, right? This is what happens. This is common. Sometimes people need to hear about an offer 5, 6, 7 times before they actually take action. So that's where I put in 30 days of value. After 30 days, you can just sort of leave it alone, or you can continue another 30 days, another 90 days. Heck, you could do this for years if you want. But I like an autoresponder because everybody starts at a different day. So if John opts in today, he's going to get email number 1 today. Tomorrow, email number 2, the next day, number 3. But if Mary joins next week, Mary will just get email number 1 the day she joins. And her 30-day cycle starts from the day that she opts in. So it's nice to be able to have an email autoresponder. Now, in our community, in the Atlas community, we provide all this information. We write the emails for people. We provide the pages. We provide the funnels. So one of the benefits of being an affiliate inside of Atlas is that all of this stuff can be complicated to build yourself, but it's necessary if you're going to run paid ads. So we just build it for everybody so they don't have to worry about it. I still like everybody to know how it works though. Okay, so that kind of explains the email follow process. What about this? When somebody joins for free and they don't buy something, then what we do is we start offering bonuses. What we do is we create bonuses that say, if you buy this $250 product, then we'll throw in these additional bonuses. And maybe those bonuses are enough to be able to knock them off the fence and get them thinking about it. And then we also send our own follow-up emails on the behalf of all of our members to be able to help encourage people to be able to join. The reason we do this is because we figure that someone like myself who has 20 years experience in this business, I feel like I've got an idea of how to convert sales a little bit better than, let's say, a beginner who's in their first 30 days. So we just provide all that for people. And then even after this whole sequence, whether people buy or not, then what we do is we start promoting third-party offers. So what we'll do is then we'll figure out, okay, what tools exist in the marketplace that are willing to pay commissions that we can promote to our audience. So for example, if you're a real estate agent, maybe look and see what software tools out there are really good for maybe other real estate agents, or maybe they're really good for home buyers, or maybe they're really good for somebody. Like what tools out there help them to be able to improve the value of their home, to be able to get a higher appraisal? What tools out there help them to be able to maybe market their home or make their home more marketable, better curb appeal? Maybe what tools out there help them with designing their home or getting their home, something more amazing? Whatever it is, you're looking for tools that fit your target audience. And if they don't buy your offers, or they don't take action, then you can actually still make commissions off of selling third-party tools. Now, inside of Atlas Academy, we take it a step further and we let all of our members earn the commission on these tools. So we don't even keep the commissions. We promote third-party tools. We let our members log in their back office and use their own affiliate links, and we let them earn commissions. So essentially, we send out emails purely to try to make our own members money. That's one of the things that makes Atlas Academy so amazing. So if you're watching this video and you're not yet an affiliate with Atlas Academy and the internet income system, maybe you're just in another career and you want to learn about paid advertising, we highly suggest that you practice paid advertising in our community, because you can have all the done for you funnels, all the done for you emails, all the done for you assets, and we'll email on your behalf, and you'll get firsthand experience when it comes to sales funnels, when it comes to marketing. You'll get all that firsthand experience in our community to kind of take you from beginner to pro, and then you can start launching your own funnels for your own projects outside of us. So I highly encourage everybody, work from inside our community first, get experience, and then take it out to your own industry. So now the last thing I'll say about this is the reason that we need this funnel is because you can't just drive traffic directly to an offer. It doesn't work. Most people lose the game of paid traffic. You do not want to be one of the people on the losing end. So you need some type of a funnel and a sequence and a system to be able to maximize your investment. If you're going to invest $1,000 in ads, you're going to want to make back $2,000 or $3,000 in order to be able to scale. So that's why we put together funnels, because it gives a higher chance of being able to make an ROI on your investment. Okay, let's move on to the next section. The next section is traffic terms. So once you get involved in the paid traffic industry, you're going to need to learn some terminology. But one of the most important terms when it comes to paid advertising is lifetime value. To figure out lifetime value, it's very, very simple. You just simply take the total amount of money that you've made and divide it by the total amount of customers you have. So if you have 100 customers and you've made $1,000 so far, then your average customer, one of those 100 customers, your average one is worth $10. Right? You have 100 customers, you've made 1,000. 1,000 divided by 100 is 10. So your LTV would be $10. Right? So you need to figure out your LTV. This is a metric that you're going to need to know in order to make advertising work. Essentially, the math equation is the higher you can get your LTV, the more you can afford to pay to acquire a customer. The next one I want to tell you, this one's very, very simple, but when you're advertising, you're going to hear two terms. You're going to hear below the fold and above the fold. This simply means, where does your advertisement show? So if you're advertising on a website or something like that, you always want to try to be above the fold. What this means is when you go on a regular browser and you visit a website, above the fold is everything that you see without scrolling down. If you do not have to scroll and you can see your advertisement, then your advertisement is above the fold. If you have to scroll down in order to see it, then it would be below the fold. An example is, maybe there's a popular blog. Maybe there's a blog for real estate blog. And man, there's a lot of potential customers there. So you buy a banner on the sidebar of that blog. But then you go visit the blog and you have to scroll way down to the bottom right to find your banner. The problem is when it's below the fold, the average person doesn't ever get down to it to even be able to see it. So you want to, as often as possible, try to get your advertisement above the fold. And if it's not above the fold, then you want to pay less for it, because below the fold is a less valuable place for your ad to be. So you should pay a lower price for that. The next term is CTA. You're going to hear this all over the place. CTA is a call to action. Now, when you're out there and you're doing stuff, you can advertise all you want, but if there's no call to action, then there's no way to get paid. So at some point, you can market, you can make videos go viral, you can get a bunch of followers in your account, you can do all of this. But at some point, you have to figure out a strategic way to have a call to action so people can actually join and purchase through you. So what I like to do is I like to do value, 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 pitch. Value, 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 pitch. For example, let's say that I'm advertising on TikTok, which is something you're going to learn through this academy. Then what I'll do is I'll make a whole bunch of videos go viral with no call to action. I just want those videos to boost my account. I just want to gain more subscribers, more followers, more comments, more likes, those kind of things to try to make my account go more viral. But every 10th post or something, I might want to do a specific video that is a call to action, a specific video that tells people how they could be a part of our community or how they could take action. So you want to try to make sure that you have enough posts to have call to action in them so you can try to actually make some money back from your advertising. CTR stands for click-through rate. Now, click-through rate is the rate at which people are clicking something. This is happening in ads. It's also happening in emails. For example, if I have 100 people on my email list and I send out a video, let's say I send out a YouTube video and 10 people click it, right? That's a 10% click-through rate. Now, the thing that's important about a click-through rate is this will help you determine the quality of your leads, the quality of your ads. If you have a high click-through rate, a high percentage of people are clicking through to the next step, then that means that these are good leads. If you have a low click-through rate, then your advertising source is probably really bad. A perfect example of this is some of you maybe have purchased leads before. Maybe you've bought solo ads, or maybe you've bought leads for an email list from another provider. What I would encourage you to do is send some emails out with a link in the emails and then see how many people click that link. You might have 1,000 people on your list or 10,000 people on your list. But if you get a click-through rate that's like 1% or lower, then those leads are not good, right? I'm just being blunt. They're just not good. They're not a good source of leads. So rather than trying your hardest to try to make that source of leads work, it would be better to simply start from scratch with a better source of leads. However, if you have a high click-through rate and people are highly engaged on that list, then that list is worth working, right? So that's why the CTR is important. CR stands for Chris Record, actually stands for conversion rate. So CR stands for conversion rate. Now, this is the rate at which people are actually buying things. So at the end of the day, all the other metrics are kind of vanity metrics. You might make an ad and you see a whole bunch of people commenting. You see a whole bunch of people liking. Your video is getting hundreds of thousands of views. These are small wins and these are good signals of success, right? They're good indicators of success. But the ultimate indicator you're looking for is a conversion rate. You're looking for your ads to be able to actually convert to paying customers. So in most ad platforms, they have a conversion rate in. That's kind of a metric you want to pay attention to because that's the income producing metric. That's the money making metric. Okay, earnings per click. When you're advertising and building an email list, I oftentimes just focus on this in my email list, right? When I send out an email that has an actual offer in it, like let's say I want to promote a software as an affiliate. I'll send an email to my list. Maybe the software I'm promoting is High Level. High Level is a all-in-one, like a Swiss Army knife tool set for all entrepreneurs, right? So let's say I promote High Level. So what I'll do is I already know right now like what my click-through rate is. I know how many people are clicking on my links. So let's say I can get 1,000 people to click on my affiliate link. It's cool. I got to engage list. But if none of them buy, then it's really still a dead list. So the earnings per click would mean I send an email or a series of emails. I get 1,000 clicks to my High Level affiliate link. And then how much money did I make from those 1,000 clicks? How many people signed up? How much commission did I make? That's a really good metric. earnings per click. I want to be able to take the total amount of money I've made, divide it by the total amount of clicks I sent to that offer, and now I've got a dollar figure on how much I'm making per click. And believe me, you want to be making as much money as you can per click. The higher quality list you build, I've got offers where I'm making $50 per click, 20, 30, 40, $50 per click. Some of my best offers, I've even done as much as $100 plus per click that I've made. But even as a beginner, you want to be making at least $1 a click. This metric is helpful because once you kind of get a feel for it, you kind of know that your audience is buying things. Well, you can just look at your email stats and say, okay, the last offers I did, I was able to send about 150 clicks. And my average amount earning per click is $2. So I kind of know I'm probably going to make an average of $300, right? 150 clicks times $2 each. I'm probably going to make an average of $300 if I do an email promo. This metric starts to allow you to be able to project and forecast how much money you can make from your list, right? So that's a really important metric. I like to watch that one. Cost per click. This is how much you're actually paying per click when you run ads. So you're going to have a cost associated with your clicks. If you're running Facebook ads, stuff like that, there is a CPC, a cost per click. How much are you paying for somebody to be able to click your link? Now, this one's tricky. The cost per click is high on a lot of advertising platforms and it scares people away. So it is an important metric to watch. Don't be too scared by it, but you want to keep your cost per click as low as possible and the quality of the person as high as possible. If you can master that, if you can get high quality leads and low cost per click, you're likely going to have a profitable campaign. Okay, next is cost of sale. How much are you spending in order to get a sale? This is a very simple, important metric. Let's say that you're selling a $20 product. Ideally, you want to be able to try to understand how much money are you paying for a $20 customer. This is different than lifetime value. That $20 customer may be on a monthly plan for a year. Maybe that customer is worth $240 lifetime value. But it's nice immediately to be able to know I'm spending $15 to make a $20 sale, right? So how much is my cost per sale? My average cost per sale is $15. Cost per acquisition. When you're promoting affiliate offers, when you're promoting things out there, sometimes they'll pay you a commission, like they'll give you 20% or 40% of every sale. Or sometimes you'll hear the term that they're willing to pay you a CPA, a cost per acquisition. A good example would be, let's say that I'm running ads for a loan officer or for a mortgage brokerage. Well, they're not really selling a product. So the real thing that they want is they want somebody to fill out an application. They want somebody to apply to see if they can qualify for a loan to be able to buy a house. Okay? So that form is free. The customer's paying nothing. So the way that mortgage company would pay me is they would pay me a cost per acquisition. They would say, look, we'll give you $200 for every application that is submitted. That would be a $200 bounty or a $200 CPA for every person I can get to fill out a form. This is important because when you do paid advertising, sometimes paid advertising works extremely well if you can negotiate good CPA offers. All right, next, CPM. Now this is very common and was very confusing for me when I first started because of the language. Cost per milli, right? But the problem is that I used to always think that was cost per million. I thought CPM was how much money I'm paying to reach 1 million people. But it's actually your cost per 1,000 impressions. CPM is cost per 1,000, right? They should have called it like CP1K and I would have understood it better. But all these platforms use CPM. That is essentially, if you're doing like display advertising, Google ads, stuff like that, they're basically going to display your ad to a certain amount of impressions and you're going to pay for that exposure, right? You're paying to be seen. That is CPM, is paying for that visibility. And so in that metric, you're going to want to say, okay, what is the average CPM? For me to reach 1,000 people, that is the average cost it's going to cost. So if it says like $50 CPM, that means you're going to spend $50 to be seen by 1,000 people. That doesn't mean 1,000 people clicked. It doesn't mean 1,000 people bought. It means for your banner to display, your ad to display to 1,000 people cost this much. That is called CPM. CPL is another valuable metric because cost per lead. Now, leads are not necessarily buyers, but leads are very valuable. Leads can go on your email list and you could follow up with them for life. Maybe they don't buy your initial offer, but they likely will buy other offers in the future. So cost per lead, if you can get good at email marketing, if you can get good at autoresponders, if you find that that is your angle, then cost per lead becomes a metric that becomes probably the most important. Because cost per lead is essentially how much are you paying for a qualified quality lead to be on your list. And you want to keep this as low as possible. Certain platforms are easier. For example, on TikTok, we're getting a CPL of $1 to $2. That means that we're spending $1 to $2 for a lead to be on our list. So our CPL is $1 to $2. On Facebook, it's more like $5 to $10, maybe even $15. So different sources, different traffic sources will have a higher cost per lead than others. And you always want to make sure it's a good quality lead as well. You don't want junk leads, it's not worth it. CPV is cost per view. So if you're just running ads to make a video go viral, right? If you're running ads to get some virality, to try to get some exposure, then CPV is a good acronym for you. That's how much you're paying per view, right? And so ultimately, in my rule of thumb, you want to be paying less than a penny per view, absolute maximum. However, I used to teach a course called the 3-0 Club. And what that means is I was having 3 zeros, 0.0001 per view, 0.0005 per view. So like 1/100th of a penny, right? Per view. But ultimately you need to be below a penny. If you're ever paying more than a penny per view, I would posit it's not working, it's not good. I wouldn't, if you're focused on trying to get views, that is not gonna help you go viral. You need to be in the sub penny range to even have any success there. ROAS. Now this is what all the agencies talk about. If you ever talk with an advertising agency, you get somebody else to run ads for you, they're gonna talk about ROAS. They're gonna always say ROAS, and you're like, what on earth is ROAS? That is return on ad spend. It is very, very straightforward. How much money you're spending, what return are you making on that ad spend? ROAS. It's a little bit different than lifetime value, because lifetime value builds over time. You might still be making money off your list for a decade. I'm still right now making money off leads from a decade ago, right? So ROAS is a little bit more immediate. It's a short-term metric that you can use with an agency to be able to see if they're successful. You can test out an agency and you're looking for return on ad spend. Essentially, if I spend $1,000, how much money am I making in a short period of time off that $1,000? Return on investment is essentially the same thing. ROI, I don't need to explain it because we're all adults here. Return on investment is ultimately what we're looking for. We're looking for a positive return on investment. KPI. Now, I've shared with you a lot of abbreviations. KPI, key performance indicator. Depending on everybody's unique ad campaigns, you're going to want to find at least one metric that is the one that you focus on. This is the one metric that you keep your eye on, because you'll just get confused if you're trying to figure out, oh my God, all these different things going on. So you want to start with one key performance indicator. Maybe it's cost per lead to start out. Just see if you can get leads down to a reasonable cost. And then you can move on. Once you figure that out, then you can move on to another key performance indicator. Maybe in our example with our funnel, what is your cost per member joining? How much are you paying for a free member to join? And then ultimately, your final key performance indicator needs to be something profit related. Like, what is my ROAS? Or what in ROAS, for example, would be like, a perfect example of ROAS would be you spent $1,000, you made $2,000, right? So that would be a ROAS of 2x. You made 2x or 200%, right? So if you hear people talk about ROAS, that is the most common metric between professional advertisers. Most professional advertisers purely look at ROAS, and usually they give themselves like a 30-day window. That just means we're gonna run the ad, we're gonna see how much revenue we generate in $30, that's gonna be our return on ad spend, and you're looking for a multiple 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7x, right? But ultimately 2x would be fine. A 1x ROAS would mean you spent $1,000, you made $1,000. Anything less than that inside of 30 days, then you're playing the long game. You better have a good follow-up campaign to be able to make that money back. CP, conversion pixel. So when you're advertising on different pages or different funnels, all of these platforms give you a little, like Google is gonna give you a little pixel code. It's gonna give you a little code. Facebook's gonna give you a little code. You need to ask your developer, ask your website designer, or do it yourself. You need to add that code to the pages. So if I place a Facebook ad, Facebook can tell me how much the click is. They can tell me, hey, this is how much you're paying per click. But once they leave Facebook, Facebook has no idea what they do. They have no idea if that person buys anything. So you really have no way to know if the ad is successful. But if you put a conversion pixel on the checkout page, if you put it on the checkout page, if you put it on the confirmation page, if you put the pixel deeper in the funnel after whatever they get access to after they purchase, then that'll fire a signal back to Facebook and say, this person converted. And then you're able to go put in a conversion value. You could say, if somebody makes it to this page, that was worth $20 to me. If somebody makes it to this page, that was worth $100 to me, whatever it might be. And then Facebook will display all of that, all of those metrics for you in one dashboard. It makes it nice and neat. So again, these are all things that we're going to train you on, but I just wanted to get the acronyms out of the way early on. Now, this is the last section, and then I'm going to bring up Michael Crouch. Traffic guidelines. So this next section are just some key things that are going to be important to be able to not get your ad account banned, to be able to make sure you're compliant when it comes to advertising. Most of these things can just be put in the footer on the bottom of the website. If you go to almost any website that advertises, you're going to notice a lot of little links on the bottom, the very bottom, that will be legal links. They'll go to disclaimers, they'll go to privacy policies, those kind of things. So I'm going to walk you through some basic fundamental links that I believe give your ad accounts the best chance at not getting booted or not getting suspended, stuff like that. Okay, the first one is a privacy policy. Now, in the beginning, you could start with a boilerplate one. You could simply do a Google search for privacy policy, take an existing one, and just change your information inside of it, right? That's pretty simple. Now, inside of Atlas and inside of Internet Income System, we actually cover this for you. So what's cool is that inside of our community, we take care of this on behalf of our members because we just have one funnel everybody markets, and it already comes with all these documents. But I think for starters, you need to have a link at the bottom of the page that's a hyperlink to a privacy policy. Now, if you're not good at web design, that could just go to a Google Doc. Otherwise, you got to make it a separate page. Next, you would have terms and conditions. So the terms and conditions, you'll notice you can pretty much just go to other websites and click terms and conditions and read theirs. Now, the bigger, more successful company you go to, their terms and conditions are probably written by teams of lawyers, so those are not as good to copy. But if you go to sites like LegalZoom or you just go to like these little boilerplate sites, a lot of times they just have a form. You can just put like your company name, this and that, have some basic terms and conditions, edit anything you need, but you need some terms. Like if you're going to run Facebook ads, if they do a review on it, they're going to need to see terms and conditions. Next is a refund policy. Now the refund policy should be two places. One should be a link at the bottom of the page, just like the privacy policy. But two, you should also have it written on the page somewhere very, very clear. So there is a clear understanding between you and the potential customer of what your refund policy is. Even if there's a no refund policy, then you got to put there's a no refund policy. This is going to come in handy a few different ways. One, it's going to make sure you're compliant when running ads. And two, it's going to make sure you don't get shut down by your merchant. So let's say you're using Stripe or PayPal or your bank to do these transactions. If a customer ever disputes any of these transactions and wants a chargeback or a refund or if they're just trying to file a chargeback, they're going to ask you, do you submit your rebuttal? And you're going to be able to show, I have a clear refund policy right here at the bottom. I have a clear refund policy on the front of the page. Also put the refund policy on the checkout page. When they're ready to buy, when they got their credit card out, there should be a clear refund policy there. I like it written on the page and I like it in the footer. This is going to give you ammo to be able to fight any chargebacks from people that say, hey, whatever. You're like, hey, look, we got a 7-day refund policy. They're contacting me 3 weeks later. They had 7 days, they didn't do it. Next, a cookie policy. Now, this is more modern internet policies. If you notice, you'll go to a lot of sites these days, and there's a little thing on the bottom right that says, I accept cookie policy. What this means is that most websites these days like to track the visitor. They like to track what's going on with the visitor. They like to figure out how long are they spending on pages. What parts of the page are they spending the most time on? And they want to see where they're getting through the process. So there are these things called cookies. A cookie basically means when you click a link, it drops a piece of code on your computer, also known as a cookie. It drops a cookie on your computer. That cookie usually expires after 30 or 60 or 90 days, but it sort of like tracks your progression. It gives feedback to the company. So cookies are very valuable. If you're going to use any sort of cookies in any of your marketing, I recommend that you have a cookie policy that explains why you're doing it and what you're using that information for. Again, there's boilerplate documents out there. Okay, next is the GDPR policy. Now, this is mostly like a European Union policy, and it's sort of become like a global standard. If you are going to be marketing anything outside of the United States, if you're going to be marketing anywhere in Europe, it's a required thing that they have the protection of consumer rights out there, that they're protecting how data is used. And so usually there will be a link for like a GDPR policy that basically shows, hey, here's an extra level where we are giving a disclosure of how we're using this information. Now, this is simply a requirement in another country, but we need to do it because we like to advertise globally. Now, if you're just a real estate agent and you're advertising in your local Las Vegas area or whatever, you don't need a GDPR policy. This is mostly if you're going to be advertising more globally, or you're in Europe, right? Income disclaimers. If you're ever sharing anything that has to do with an income opportunity, anything where you're talking about how they can make money, even if the video just says they can make money, if there's ever a reference of how the consumer can make money through whatever it is you're doing, then you should put an income disclaimer, both as a link and text on the page. And you want to do this as much as possible. The FTC and different 3-letter organizations have all been cracking down on this. And sometimes they'll shut down a whole entire business if there's not an appropriate disclaimer. Now, of course, there's some wiggle room here, but not when you're running paid ads. If you're running paid ads, make sure there are some clear disclaimers if you're involved in any sort of business opportunity, affiliate marketing, or anything like that. So
mix. I got 5 on it. Let's go. If you've ever placed Facebook ads, you know exactly what I'm talking about. $5 crispy bills, here we go, yo. Yeah. I'm like an addict, addicted to running ads for traffic. Getting high off conversions like it's a bad habit. Taking massive action, get my traffic flowing like rapids. I'm writing copy like magic, these sales are automatic. Hypnotizing them, my advertising is enticing them. Visualizing my pixel rising, increasing size.